Alright, here we have Waterloo, the pub battle system by Command Post Games. Waterloo is one of the most covered topics in wargaming history because of course it sells well. So the battle itself is two epic giants running into each other. There's not a lot of maneuver, and if you have a really detailed combat system, you essentially end up gumming each other, trying to wear the other side down first. Not as exciting as it could be. Pub Battle's system works a little differently because it's more like the old Avalon Hill system where you have units in contact ending up either somebody retreats or somebody is eliminated. And with a few variations is essentially what happens in pub battles. Between that and the sudden death nature of the baggage train rules, this game becomes very exciting, very tense, and I've played it over 100, probably close to 200 times. And even now, I can't wait to get into this. Like any battle, it devolves into controlled chaos. Managed chaos. You're trying to do what you can do, and a lot of it is just, it's not science, it's feelings. I think I can do this. I think this will hold. No, I better not do that here. And ultimately, we're just the British and the French. The French would eventually wear down the British. There just aren't enough British. But you have the entire Prussian army coming in. So there's a ticking clock on the Frenchmen. Now when I do this video, I'm going to edit out all the activation phase parts where you're just simply moving different units, because as exciting as it is to move units, it's that boring to watch somebody else move units. It's like constantly being the other person's turn. So I'm going to try to edit all that out and just have the combat and combat results. At Waterloo, there's a number of elite units that are able to use the charge rule, which allows them to move and attack in the activation phase. Any unit eligible for that uses a gold sticker, like the French Heavy Cav Guard. You also have the British Household Cavalry and Cook's Royal Guard Infantry. When I played this game, I start with the guard chit already drawn, and the only thing the guard can do is Napoleon can begin the battle by firing the Grand Battery. The guard can't attack. You can do one or the other. Fire a Grand Battery or attack with the guard. If you're going to start with Napoleon, the first draw automatically, Grand Battery opens up and begins the battle. So that's what I'm going to do here. Turn 1, Waterloo. Alright, all 4 units of the Grand Battery have fired and managed to reduce all 3 of the British artillery to spent. That's not as serious as you might think, because artillery firing blind here needs 6s and it's just not that effective, as you can tell by the whole Grand Battery firing, and got a spent result on 3 units. So they've done something, not a lot. Now we'll begin the actual battle. Alright, so here we begin with the combat for turn 1. Now here you see the Prussian 4th Corps has started coming on. It's, turn 1, the Prussians are already showing up. What? They move very slowly. It will take them till late afternoon, even if unopposed, to get anywhere near Planchenoit. And we have French infantry attacking, cavalry leading the charge because cavalry on spent gets a bonus. Of course, the artillery fires first. French become spent. Ooh, 1-1-2. They do nothing. Second round of combat. Now it's simultaneous. 1 hit on the artillery, pushing it back. They suffer a hit, must move back. Now regular infantry is fighting elite British infantry. Each doing 1. The British infantry absorbs the assault, the hit, because it's elite. The French infantry is destroyed, while Clinton's division is suffering. In the middle, no cav, just infantry. Artillery fires first, 2 hits, pushes the division back. Next round of combat, the British Household Guard. Each doing 1. Household Guard absorbs the first one because they're elite. Artillery becomes pushed back and spent. They each get 2 hits. Cav. But all these combats have done exactly the same thing. The artillery's been pulled back. French do 1. They absorb because they're elite. British do 2 and they eliminate another French. Now switch in. It's the end of turn 1. The French have gained a little ground here in the east. The center holds. and just in front of La Haissant they hold. Hougoumont has not been attacked. You quickly learn that there's no reason to attack Hougoumont. If the British want to fill it with elite heavy units to hold the whole battle, let them do it, because you'll just go around it and they'll end up stuck out in the middle of nowhere doing nothing but sitting there. You remove 2 of their elite units right off the bat. But we didn't fall for that, so there's 2 inexperienced units in here that look threatening, but really they're nothing. Hiller's division has moved on. They're still in column. Notice they have 2 pieces behind them. Their Prussians really stretch out with all their stuff. Here Blucher and Zieten have come on. Here in the center, Napoleon's moving the guard artillery over to support the guard. So the first 2 turns the guard has not attacked. British cavalry charged in to break up the retreating French. 1 division has turned to face them. The cuirassiers have attacked from the side. The other division just fell back further. French cavalry is moving up on the right to try to exploit the breakage here before the Prussians arrive. Okay, and down in the south, Lobau's 6th Corps is actually moving up to help push this hole on the right, and the only thing to stop the entire Prussian 4th Corps is the Young Guard, which Napoleon has sent down. Now he's way over here. He doesn't need to be here though, because they're just going to be defending. They're not going to be attacking, so they don't require a commander to be there. Clinton destroys another. Now the French have lost 4 divisions. Clinton becomes spent, enlisting a fresh division of Jerome. However, Jerome blows the opportunity, does no damage, while Clinton does 2 wounds, which cause him to spend and retreat. Now the way I handle this is I go reverse order, and the second Corps moved last, so they attack first, because I consider moving last to be tactically ahead, because no one else can react to what you're doing if you're moving after them. French get 3 hits. Destroy the British cavalry. British get 1 hit. The cuirassiers can absorb that because they're elite. Up here in Papillon. Now, Papillon is considered a chateau. It's undercover. French would have 3 hits, but they only get 1 hit because of the chateau, and the 1 hit is absorbed by the elite. They do 2, treating them. The cavalry. And actually, the cavalry shouldn't have been there anyway because they can't attack a chateau. Combat is over. Turn 3. Lancers can charge. So Jacquinot, the 1st Corps, has Lancers. He's going to charge Kielmansegg. He gets 1 hit, pushes Kielmansegg back. Kielmansegg does 2 on him, pushing him back to there. He is still pushed back. Basically, his cavalry is blown. Turn 4, combat. Now the guard has been committed. The reserve militia has come out of Chateau Hougoumont and is flanked Jerome and the Cav. Here in High and Pepelac, they're in a chateau, so they can't be flanked. They're not considered flanked. There's just 2 units attacking them. Here's division had hoped to end the game by sacking the baggage, but the baggage hadn't moved yet, and out it went. It took off. The baggage we're worried about is 2nd Corps' baggage right here, because here we have the guard attacking. The guard attacks. Where have I heard that before? Okay, here we go. 2 and 2 pushes him back. The old guard becomes spent. Now, if the old guard retreats, the British win. That's my rule. That's not the official rule. I just choose to say that, hey, if the guard actually retreats. I also allow them, because they were almost superhuman by the standards of the day, they always ignore the first hit. Here the British get 1 hit, the French get 2. The Beggs can't be pushed back. 1 hit gets absorbed by the Grenadiers, but now they've absorbed all they can absorb. They take another hit, become spent, but they do 3 hits, and it only takes 2 to destroy militia. So there they go. Now this is fraught. This could end the game next turn. They're flanked. Even though the French have -1, they've rolled 5, 5, and 6, so 3 hits. Over here, they don't get the flank bonus. They each do 1, he absorbs 1. Now the French have 2, with 2 6s. He retreats out of there. There. Things do not look good for Halkett here. By my rules, he's not flanked, but he's militia and he's spent, so any hit will eliminate him. British get 2 hits. He does 2 hits. So they're driven back. They're eliminated. Cav on cav. French cav is heavier, so it gets +1. 3 hits and 3 hits. Wow. Boom. That was epic. Now we begin turn 5. It's about 7 o'clock at night. Local time. German First Corps. Artillery fires on spent French. Now it's late in the day. The Prussians are showing up in force. Alright, we have turn 5 combat. Prussians are coming on. Let's do this combat first here. Lobel 6 Corps. Prussians roll 2 6s, pushing them back, and they also get 2 6s, or 5 and 6, which is enough to push them back. No cavalry combat over here. French cavalry is heavier, gets a +1. They do 1, drive the cavalry back into the woods, but the British cavalry does 2, driving the French cavalry back. Now cavalry, a retreat is 1/3 of an infantry move, whether the retreating unit is foot or mounted. A retreat is 1/3 of a foot move. Okay, here, Clinton has closed in at the end. These guys are now flanked. So it's going to be an awesome attack. No, baggage is not backing this up, it's just behind it. So it'll take 1 turn to destroy that. They can't possibly get the baggage this turn, but they can get close enough to it. For perhaps next turn. British get 2 hits, the French get nothing. Oh, the French were charging in with lancers. So they would have got an even. So the French do get a hit. Clinton absorbs the hit. They absorb a hit and then become spent. 2 hits. British have done nothing, the French get 1 hit. No, Clinton's not going to retreat. Honker is going to retreat. Push that unit back, so they look like that now. This time, they get 2 hits. 2 hits eliminates this Lancers unit. You can spread these out so that 1 hit will cause this to retreat. And 1 hit, he absorbs his first hit. So that's where that looks right now. The British do 1, which retreat the Grenadiers back. Grenadiers do 2, they're no longer flanked. That destroys Clinton. Again, another turn. If the guard goes first, they'll get that. And yet, oh, there's combat here. 1 hit by the British, which the heavy cavalry absorbs. Heavy cavalry gets 3 hits. That will destroy the light Netherland artillery, or cavalry. Turn 6. There's only 7 turns in this game because they start so late because of the rain. 2. The artillery occupies the hill with an element, a detachment guarding the artillery. That's all they have. That's all they needed. It's desperate and close. French are desperate. The cuirassiers are going to attack. You know, this isn't advantageous at all. They're trying to keep the British occupied. British cavalry. Alright, turn 6. The fighting is getting very desperate. You can see the full Prussian army is moving on. French are heavily engaged here, pushing with their guard, but it's going to be hard to get through all that in 2 turns, especially when they're flanked already. And this here, a lot of British have recovered here. There just isn't going to be enough to get there by the end of the day. This combat. British inflict 1 wound and bad roll. And the Grenadiers absorb it. French get 1 hit, which the Solite British unit absorbs. British do 2 hits. Both these units will retreat. That's it for combat turn 6. Turn 7, last turn of the game. Only 7 turns in Waterloo. Late start. Last turn of the game, there's no way the French can destroy any British baggage. And let me check British morale. British can lose a total of 6 units. I think they've done that. 6 infantry divisions. 2, 4, no, 5. The Prussians are a whole different army. The French can win if they can destroy a British infantry division. Well, this ain't over yet then. Alright, the Guard. That's the only British infantry division they can reach. The old Guard will get committed and see if they can get the job done. Desperate attempt. Does the artillery push out this artillery? Yes, it does. Now it's wide open, but there's no... These guys had to retreat to give the artillery a shot. The old Guard can't actually reach the bags. So close, so close. Cavalry, guess what? Cavalry's going to move up in front of the baggage. Even like that. You know what they're going to do? Put the herd on its household cav. They know what to do. Uxbridge is going to deal some damage there. This is a charge. We got to resolve that first. Cavalry may not matter. British get 2. The French get 1 because it was cav attacking fresh set, so they're -1. So they get 1. Guess what? They voluntarily retreat from combat. Then these guys would have moved to there. That's how that would have went. Second Corps. Who's left from Second Corps? No one. First Corps can do nothing. British First Corps. Cook attacks Jerome, doesn't really matter. The game's over. The French have failed to destroy the British army. Essentially, the French have lost because they have to win by the end of the day. Second Corps moves up, continues to be a threat. There's Milhaud, he does nothing, but he would fall back there. A third Cav can't actually contact that because this hasn't been resolved yet. Gerard is there. They will desperately attack the British Guard in square because it's dramatic. Alright, their dramatic attack. 2 and 1, so boom, and this guy goes like this. That's not what they needed. R was drawn last. These guys would have retreated away from that combat, which I could do on their activation. And this is one of those things where in a competitive game you would have said, hey, you forgot to move, and that's it. They probably would have got destroyed in combat. That probably would have won the game for the French. Right at the end of the last turn, last combat, that would have been intense. But I'm a little forgiving of myself going, look, I'm trying to do all this at once. And, you know, once this guy's attacked, I don't see the label, so I don't know who's there. I didn't recognize that. Had I known who that was, I would have just moved back, because there's no reason for him to stay. So, call it what you will. It's a British victory by straight rule. No, it's actually a French victory. Let's say you forgot to move that, and they got an attack. French would have got 1 hit, they would have got 2. So they would have pushed Gerard back, and 1 hit would have pushed them back because they're militia. But in the end, it's an Allied victory. Wellington can walk around like a chicken going, yep, I got it. I got her done. There you have it. There's the British glorious dead. The Allied glorious dead. One division of cavalry for the Prussians. 4 divisions worth of casualties for the French, and heavy cavalry casualties as well. Game over. That was exciting.